Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Lazio have destroyed Monza 5-1 as they go into the top four of Serie A. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. I mean, it was a bloodbath. Let's be very honest about it. Lazio really had their fun with it. It was not men against boys, it was men against kids. It was a really one-sided game, and Lazio had their fun with it. And it was yet again a quite a one-sided game. We had one yesterday in Serie A when at Atalanta. They had their fun against when Atalanta won their game, and now Lazio have had done the same thing against Monza as well. I mean. I really could not believe that it was so easy for Lazio. The way that they were passing the ball around, that they were moving the ball around. It felt like Monza players really did not come out for the game. It just felt like they were sitting in the bus and they were just waiting for the game to start. Lazio just run circles around them. The way that they passed the ball, it took them time to get the first goal. It took them like half an hour, but even before that, the amount of chances that they were creating, you were just waiting for them. You just knew that when the first goal went in, the floodgates are going to open, and that's what happened. They scored that first goal, and then time after time, like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and they just kept on scoring. I would say that Monza are quite lucky that it was just only five, and not more. They got a goal back courtesy of a penalty. It was a 5-1 in the end for Lazio, but I would say that Lazio are one of those teams that are really fighting for those European places, and they know that they need performances like this, of course, because how tight the league is. And the performance today, it shows how much of a good squad that they have. They have a big chance to qualify for Europe. They are now in the top four. Of course, Fiorentina are still to play that game, so maybe they might drop out of top four, but it is a tough game for Fiorentina, so they might end the weekend in top four. Lazio, they literally were miles apart from Monza. I really did not think that it was and it really did not feel like a good game of football. It is like a cricket score at the moment, 5-1. So it was very easy for Lazio, and it would really give them a lot of confidence. They need wins like this. Lazio, the thing with Lazio is they have a really good squad and everything, and they can play, and they can go ahead and win games like this. But then, unfortunately, I don't really know what happens. It has happened this season as well. They go on a 7, 8, 9 match, unbeaten streak where they will win, games and everything. And you're thinking now Lazio are on a great run, nobody's gonna stop them. And then they have this rough patch of 3 or 4 or 5 games where they somehow lose games and they drop points, and that always halts their momentum. It has happened a couple of times already this season. They would hope now, when the last stretch, the last part of the season is coming, they would hope it doesn't really happen to them yet again, and they can continue with this winning games, and with the confidence with which they play today. Maybe because they were at the home side and they were playing against a Monza side who nobody really expected to challenge them. But again, it's one thing to expect a win, but then it's another thing to go ahead and do it. Like, for example, the best example today, Liverpool lost to Plymouth. Well, nobody really thought that Liverpool were going to lose to Plymouth. Everybody thought Liverpool were going to win, but Liverpool went and they were not able to get the job done. So Lazio, that is why, like, Lazio went ahead and they did the job, and they did their job spectacularly, winning 5-1. And this margin of win is winning is very important, but this margin of win could come in really handy because of how tight the league is. So many teams fighting for those European qualification places. There could be teams who get into the Champions League based on goal difference. There could be teams who play Europe next year because of goal difference. So winning these games against the so-called smaller teams with this big margins and all that, this is gonna come in really handy in my opinion, because you cannot really separate at the moment. I still don't know from the top 8, top 9 who is gonna play Europe. That's how tight the league is. And yet, yes, the same thing for the bottom team as well. We talk about Monza. I mean, they were poor. They were really poor. I've still not made up mine, but I think it is starting to look like Monza are going to be one of the teams that for you can, if you had to make a bet at the moment and you had to put your money somewhere for one team who you think could really go out, I think it could be Monza. I think for the last month or so they have been really poor. It felt like a lot of the teams were quite close to them. They are still quite close to them, but the performance wise, I think Monza have been really poor. They are not really able to do anything today. Again, it was so easy for Lazio. There was no defense. That they are not tackling. It feels like they just stand there and they let the teams come at them and let have their fun at it. I don't really remember any Monza player making any tackles. trying to get the ball back, trying to get possession back. Sorry, my camera died. But as I was saying, Monza, I mean, it was a really poor performance from them today. Like, it did not really feel that they were out on the field. And I as I said before, like, if there was one team who I think can really get relegated, I think it would be Monza, because it's not just the point, it's the performance. Like, they are not really performing. It doesn't feel like the players are in. It just feels like they have mentally accepted that we are going to go down, and with about 15 games to go, if that's your mindset, then nobody really can help you. It doesn't matter what manager you bring in, or what the fans do, or what any advice anybody can go. If you have mentally accepted that you are going to go down, I don't think there is anybody who can really come out and help you. And I think unfortunately for Monza fans, it just feels like the players have accepted. I mean, I really did not see anybody making any tackles or trying showing any effort today. They made it very easy for Lazio today. They just let them have their fun with it, and they just sat back and they let Lazio enjoy, and they let Lazio score the goals. And it was a really poor performance again. And as I said about Lazio, that having a win with a big margin is going to help them, because based on goal difference, I think losing games like this, they now have the second worst goal difference. It is -18 at the moment. The only one team that is worse than them is Verona on -27. So I think that is also it's a big point for Monza. They're not playing good. I would say, like, I don't want to make any calls, but if there was one team, as I said before, I think Monza are going to go down, because their performances are really awful, to be very honest with you. They're not really trying, and sometimes I don't really understand how it happens. Like, you are professional, and people are going to say that they are paid money, they are professional footballers. Like, forget that. You forget about being getting paid, or forget about being professional footballers. Like, as a person, as an individual, as a human being, you're going out and you're trying to do something. You're I really don't understand how can you give up. That's the point that I really don't understand. And today I really don't. It felt like Lazio were the only team on the ground. It felt like the Monza. It was not Monza playing. It was Lazio's reserves who were just outside, and they were given the task by the manager that let Lazio players have their fun. Let them have fun. Let them feel good about themselves, and that's basically what they did. And Monza just let them have it, and they just sat back and they let it say to Lazio, come at it, enjoy your goals, make your celebrations, and go at it. And we are very happy with it. Very bad performance. Quite a disgraceful performance in my opinion. Losing 5-1, it is never a good thing, especially when you're in such a tight relegation battle, and they barely tried anything. To be very honest with you, really poor from them. So yeah, Monza are in a really tough situation, and I would not be surprised if they end up getting relegated. In my opinion, at the moment, they are my first pick to get relegated. Lazio, on the other hand, still trying to qualify for Europe, and I think it's going to be quite interesting how they move forward. So yeah, that's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys thought of Lazio's performance, what you guys thought of Monza's performance. Do you think Monza have a chance to come back, or do you think they are going to get relegated? And what about Lazio? Do you think they can do you think they can qualify for Europe or not? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of this year, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.